The first topic for today is native applications versus hybrid applications versus web applications. Yeah, what are those? Let's take a look. The first one is native apps. Yeah, native apps are softwares which are developed using specific programming language and hardware platform. So, for example, the native iOS applications are written in Swift or Objective-C, yeah, the Apple programming language. Meanwhile, for native Android apps are written in Kotlin or Java. Yeah, so if you use this programming language to develop applications for a specific platform, yeah, for example, you write applications with using Kotlin for Android apps, then your application will be a native one. So why we should write a native application? Yeah, native applications have some advantages. Yeah, the first one, they are fast and responsive. Yeah, the programming language and the platform are already optimized according to the specific platform. Yeah, so Kotlin and Java, the SDK, software development kit, needed to create or compile the native Android apps are already optimized for Android applications. Yeah, that's why they are fast and responsive as well. The second advantage of writing native applications, yeah, it allows us easy access to device hardware and or other applications. So examples of hardware access are camera, flashlight, thermosensor, gyroscope, accelerometer, and etc. In the meantime, what meant by other applications access, yeah, we can share a text to WhatsApp, and then we can access a phone book to get some contacts, yeah, and then we can get directions using Google Maps and so on. Yeah, so sharing the data between applications are easy if our application is a native application. The third advantage, it's easy to design the user interface that conforms with the OS standards. Yeah, so iOS has its own standards for developing uh, iOS applications. Yeah, you must conform to the standard. Android also has its own standard. Yeah, we call it material design. Yeah, but now it is refreshed into material U. Yeah, we must conform to that standard, and we will learn about material design or maybe material U later on this course. But of course, it has advantages and it has disadvantages as well. Yeah, the first disadvantages is it's not practical for multi-platform application development. Yeah, it means that if we want to develop an iOS and Android apps at the same time, we have to create two code base for iOS and for Android, which means we must learn Swift and Kotlin or Java at the same time. Because we have its own code base for iOS and Androids, usually it is harder to synchronize the features between these two applications or these two code base. Yeah. So for example, maybe I add a feature A to Android, A, B, C, D, but in iOS, maybe I cannot add features D and E at this moment. Yeah. So these two applications, yeah, they should be the same, but sometimes the features are not the same for these two applications. Yeah, so this is the major disadvantage of creating native applications. Yeah, and then the development cost usually is more expensive and the development time is usually longer. Yeah, that's why some people have developed a cross-platform framework. Yeah, because the biggest drawback for the native application is we must create code base for each OS. Yeah, so some people creates the development of platforms or frameworks that overcome this disadvantage by allowing the cross-platform development. Yeah, some examples like React Native by Facebook, Xamarin by Microsoft, Titanium, and Google also has its own platform for developing cross-platform native applications, Google Flutter. Okay, the second type of applications is a hybrid application. Yeah, hybrid apps looks like native apps and can be installed to our device. However, they actually use what we call a web view. Yeah, a web view is an Android component that renders web pages. Yeah, for now, you can assume that web view is like a browser, but it is within our application. Yeah, hybrid apps are developed using web technology. So this is the key concept of hybrid apps. Yeah, if you develop a mobile application but you use web technology such as HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, then you are creating a hybrid application. We have some advantages of creating a hybrid apps here. Yeah, the first is a single code base. Yeah, because it is actually a web application. So we only develop web applications that can be accessed by iOS users and Android users as well. Yeah, and then it is faster and easier to develop, and therefore the development cost is less expensive compared to the native application development. Yeah, and then hybrid apps can access to hardware via intermediary software like PhoneGap, or now it is replaced by Cordova, but the access is actually limited. Yeah, it's not as complete or as broad as native application, which can access any hardware directly. Yeah, but nevertheless, the hybrid apps has disadvantages also. Yeah, the performance of hybrid apps are usually not as good as native apps. Yeah, because we have one web view that renders our web pages, and web view is not really well optimized. Yeah, so here native apps win. Yeah, the performance usually for native apps are better than hybrid apps. And then the major disadvantage here for hybrid apps, yeah, it is not good from the UI or UX perspective. Yeah, why? Each OS has their own consistent style and behavior. Yeah, iOS has its own style. Android has Material U. Yeah, if we enforce the web flows or web UX to Android and or iOS users, yeah, usually this will result in a bad user experience. Yeah, so you should be very careful when developing hybrid apps. You must remember how the iOS users and Android users usually use their apps. Okay, the third type of application is web apps. Yeah, this is basically normal websites, but they are responsive. Yeah, their UI closely mimic the native UI, either by using CSS or any other means. Yeah, and then it is run from a mobile browser and usually cannot be installed unless they are developed as progressive web applications or PWA. Yeah, developing web applications does not need specific SDKs. Yeah, we only need HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and maybe some server-side scripting. Yeah, so developing web apps for Android is basically the same as developing web apps for desktops. Yeah, because we are actually creating a web application here. There are also many templates available to speed up the development process for web applications like Vue.js and Bootstrap. So the advantage of creating a web apps, yeah, it's easy and quick to develop, also single code base. Yeah, some UI design ideas can be rapidly tested, yeah, because HTML and CSS is quite easier compared to maybe Swift and Kotlin, maybe. Yeah, and because it is accessed from a mobile browser, it can be bookmarked and can be searched as well. Of course, it also has disadvantages. Yeah, it's not really an application. Yeah, if we take a look from the OS side, yeah, web application is not really a native application and it's not considered as app for the OS. Yeah, because you must open your mobile browser first, and then you must search for the website, or maybe just open your bookmark, then you can run the web application. Yep, unless the web apps is a progressive one, yeah, PWA, you can install it to your mobile device and you can run it as if it is mobile application or native application. Yeah, there PWAs will have their own icon on your maybe at your start screen, yeah, or you can also add it to your drawer. And then some hardware access or features like push notifications are harder to develop or are harder to access for web applications. Yeah, although I think there is an advancement for the web application development. Yeah, currently, as far as I know, they can access a limited amount of hardware found in the device. Yeah, so maybe they can access the camera to take photos and so on. Yeah, web applications currently can do that. Yeah, but it is quite limited, not as complete as the native apps, of course. Yeah. Okay, so those are the differences between native applications, hybrid applications, and web applications. Yeah, for this course, we will create native applications by using the Android Studio. Yeah, that's why in the next video, we will create our new project on the Android Studio. Yeah, let's continue.